Many of you know me from teaching your child in 6th or 7th grade art, but if you don't know, my philosophy is that anyone and everyone can create art. It just takes some practice. Making art is not that different than learning how to play an instrument or play a sport. The more you do it, the more you practice, the better you get. And just like a coach or music teacher, I'm there to help your child and give them techniques that will make it easier, some hints to help them become a better artist along the way. But the more they do it, the better they will get. I also believe that art can be so many different things. Art can be music, dance, culinary arts, fashion, design, construction. It's not just drawing, painting, or sculpture. Art can be so many things. It's creation. And a lot of parents and guardians tell me they're not artists, but I bet you are. I bet you have a creative outlet. I bet that you are like some of the parents and guardians I've talked to who say, oh, I'm not an artist, but I love to bake. You should see my cakes, or look at my interior design, or check out this fashion, or the website, or my photographs. Check out the fact that I can take a car apart and put it back together. Well, guess what, folks? You're artists too. We're all artists. And my goals are to help your child find their lifelong passion in the arts. My goal is also to help your child build their creative problem-solving skills. And my job as a teacher is to prepare your child for careers in the 21st century. But here's the thing. I don't know what jobs are going to exist 10, 20, 30 years from now. So how do I get your child ready for them? Through exposing them to the wider world of the arts, through other cultures, other ideas, building their creative problem-solving skills, their persistence, and most importantly, their confidence through the arts. I do grade, especially in 8th grade accelerated art, we do get a number grade. The assignments are posted on Google Classroom, but you will want to check Parent Portal or School Tool for the final grades and averages. I always allow redos. I always allow late work. This is actually the way we work as artists and the way we work in life. We do something, and then we have the opportunity to get some feedback on it, or we reflect on it, and we can redo it again. So I always allow redos and late work. The only deadline your child really has is the end of the marking period. And you might be reflecting on your own experiences in the art room when you were a child or a student, and you're probably wondering, well, how do you grade? I actually assess in art based on studio habits of mind, because art can be really subjective. I should not grade based on whether I think a project or an artwork came out good or not, because that is completely subjective. And I don't know about you, but my own experience in art classes when I was younger was that the back of my projects, my artwork, would have a grade on it, but I didn't always know why. So I talk a lot with your children about studio habits, and I assess based on these studio habits. And the studio habits are habits that you can use and develop in the art room, but you can use in all walks of life. From things like engaging and persisting, not giving up, to envision an idea and come up with steps to bring that idea to fruition, to express yourself, to observe the world around you, to stretch and explore past your comfort zone and challenge yourself, to reflect on the processes you've used, to understand the community around you, to seek help from others, to provide feedback to others, and to learn from others. These are skills that we use in the art room, but these are skills that are so valuable to life. And that's why I assess using the studio habits of mind. And for every artwork your child creates, there's a rubric that goes along with it where 2 or 3 or 4 of these different studio habits are used. And I always remind your child, I'm not grading you or assessing you based on whether I like it or not, or it looks good or not. I want to see for this particular artwork, were you able to stretch? Were you able to express? Did you develop your craft? In Google Classroom, our platform that we're using for online learning, your child can check not just for current assignments, but any artwork that they've missed and learn different skills. A lot of students don't realize that there's this really great icon that says view your work. And they can use that to see not just upcoming work, but any past work that's been graded or missing. So if they go to their Google Classroom pages, they can go to the main page and see announcements, but then up at the top, there's this classwork tab. And when they click on the classwork tab, in the upper left-hand corner, there's an icon that looks like a clipboard with a face on it. That says view your work. If you're using an Apple device, you might just see the icon. I've discovered that a lot of students don't realize they can click on that link. And when you click on that link, you will see your child's artwork, or they will see their own artwork and assignments, not just for my class, but for any class. And they can see what's been assigned, what is missing, and they can see what they've turned in, as well as any work that they've submitted for a grade, and they can resubmit that work if they want to add on or continue to reflect on their growth as an artist. So that's a really good thing for your child to be aware of, that view your work tab in Google Classroom. I also have a space on the same exact page all the way on the bottom. So that same Google Classroom page, Classworks, on the bottom I have a bunch of links to videos I've created and questions that I've created and documents I've created to answer your child's general questions and just resources to help. Because even though we go through a lot of stuff in the classroom, they forget on nights and weekends. They become overwhelmed. It's hard to keep track of things. Sometimes they miss a class. So they can always email me or reach out to me. But if they're stuck, remind them, go to the Classworks tab of art, and on the bottom there's a lot of resources, including how to get an image of your artwork onto the computer, which your children have been doing a great job with, but sometimes that can be a little bit challenging. So remind them that I have a whole series of videos to help them with these kinds of tasks. Now, I do want to remind you that your child is in an accelerated art class. This is a high school level art class, which means next year when they actually get into the high school, they can skip the intro art classes. They get to jump right ahead and they can take the second half of accelerated art next year during their fall semester. In the spring, they'll have a choice. Usually the choice is either to take a ceramics class or a choice-based art class. But your child will have, at the end and completion of their 8th grade accelerated art class, a half high school credit, and they'll be able to jump ahead into advanced art classes at the high school. We do have a lot of art classes at the high school. I've taught there for many years. I love the teachers. They have an awesome program. We even have 2 AP art classes, an AP art history class and an AP studio class. But in addition to those AP classes, we have things like glassworking taught by my friend Mrs. Bueller. We have ceramics 1, 2. We have pottery with the fabulous Miss Donito. We have computer graphics and advertising design. We have photography classes where they work not only in the darkroom, but in our Mac studio, learning programs like Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator that graphic designers use. So we have a lot of really great classes for them at the high school. And I know I'm getting ahead a little bit, but encourage them in the spring to start thinking about whether or not they want to take those advanced classes. And if they don't have room in their schedule in 9th grade, they can always take them in 10th, 11th, 12th grade. We don't care at all in the art program. They can always take a year off and come back to us. We welcome them with open arms. Please stay in touch with me. You can always reach out to me via email. You can also text me on my Google text number. I'm always here to help you. Please let me know if something's going on with you or your child, or you just need to give me a heads up, or if you have a question or concern. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I love to do. Thank you so much for your support of the arts. Thank you so much for your wonderful children. I'm loving, loving, loving 8th grade accelerated art. They are fabulous artists, and they are wonderful human beings. Thank you.